Oh my goodness, y'all. Oh my goodness. This don't even get no intro. Cause we just gonna finish this off, hopefully. Bud Williams had been the first passenger from his flight to reach the terminal at O'Hara. He found a mess. No one waiting for a hard line computer connection would put up with his trying to jump the line, and he couldn't get his cell phone to work, so he made his way to the exclusive Paracon Club. It too was jammed, but despite a loss of personnel, including the disappearance of several employees while on the job, some semblance of order prevailed. Even here, people waited in line for land and satellite phones and computers, but as each became available, it was understood that some might try faxing or connecting directly by modem. While Buck waited, he went to work again on his computer, reattaching the inside modem cord to the female connector. When he called up the messages that he had quickly downloaded from Landon, the first was from Steve Plank, his executive editor, addressed to all field personnel. Stay put. Do not try to come to New York. Impossible here. Call when you can. Check your voicemail and your email regularly. Keep in touch as possible. We have enough staff to remain on schedule, and we want personal accounts on the staff stuff, on the scene stuff, as much as you can transmit. Not sure of transportation and communication lines between us and our printers, nor their employee levels. If possible, we'll print on time. Just a note. Begin thinking about the causes. Military, cosmetic, scientific, spiritual, but so far we're dealing mainly with what happened. Take care and keep in touch. The second message was also from Steve and was for Buck eyes only. Wow, I love it. Buck, ignore general staff memo. Get to New York as soon as you can at any expense. Take care of family matters, of course, and file any personal experience or reflections just like everyone else. But you're going to head up this effort to get at what's behind the phenomenon. Ideas are like egos. Everyone's got one. Whether we come to any conclusions, I don't know. But at the very least, we'll catalog the reasonable possibilities. You may wonder why we need you to do this. I have an ulterior motive. Sometimes I think because of the position I'm in, I'm the only one who knows these things. But 3 different department editors have turned in story ideas on various international groups meetings in New York this month. Political editor wants to cover a Jewish national conference in Manhattan that has something to do with the New World Order government. When they care about that, I don't know about the political editor. I don't know. And the political editor doesn't either. Religion editor has something in my inbox about a conference of Orthodox Jews also coming for a meeting. These are not just from Israel, but apparently all over. And they are no longer haggling over the Dead Sea Scrolls. Ooh. They're still giddy over the destruction of Russia and her allies, which I know you think was supernatural, but hey, I love you anyway. Religion editor thinks they're looking for help in rebuilding the temple. That may be no big deal or have anything to do with anything other than the religion department. But I was struck by the timing, with the other Jewish group meeting at pretty much the same time and at the same place about something entirely political. The other religious conference in town is among leaders of all the major religions, from the standard ones to the New Agers, who are also talking about a one-world religious order. They got to get together with the Jewish nationalists, huh? Need your brain on this. Don't know what to make of it, if anything. I know all anyone cares about is the disappearances, but we need to keep an eye on the rest of the world. You know, the United Nations has that international monarchist confab coming up, trying to gauge how we're all doing with the 3 currency thing. Personally, I like it, but I'm a little skittish about going to one currency unless it's dollars. Can you imagine trading yen or euros here? Still, I guess I'm still provincial. Everyone's pretty much enamored with the Capriti guy from Romania, who so impressed with your friend Rosenwig. He's got everyone in the bond in the upper house in his own country because he's been invited to speak at the UN in a couple of weeks. Nobody knows how he wangled an invocation, but his international popularity reminds me a lot of Wessler or even Garnovik, Remember them? Ha. Hey friend, get word to me you didn't disappear. As far as I know right now, I lost a niece and 2 nephews, a sister-in-law I didn't like, and possibly a couple of other distant relatives. You think they'll be back? Well, save that till we get rolling on what's behind us. If I had to guess, I'm anticipating some god-awful ransom demand. I mean, it's not like these people who disappeared are dead. What in the world is going to happen to the life insurance industry? I'm not going to start believing the tabloids. You just know they're going to be saying saying the space aliens finally got us. Get in here, Buck. So I'm happy that I didn't. But now that I sit here and I just finished reading that chapter, and I'm not even gonna start like I could have just gave y'all that with the story, but that's not how that worked out. Hold on, y'all. Hold on. So I'm about to do a chapter in Fallen because I know that's not gonna take up too much time. Chapter 3 of The Fallen. That night I didn't sleep. I kept listening to the creaks and groans of our apartment, wondering if someone was watching us. It's funny how many sounds the night makes, especially when you're nervous. At one point, I swear I heard someone walking in our kitchen. I even grabbed Hugo's old baseball bat just in case. Yeah. I don't know. Do we feel sorry for Shorty? I don't know. I don't think so. Just because I need to hit something. Just some pipes in the wall making noise. I checked all the closets and then glassed out our living room window to make sure Frankie Lemons wasn't out there. Nothing. Somewhat far away, sirens screamed, and the memory of Hugo's ambulance ride to the hospital flashed in my mind. My mother and I followed in the neighbor's car, and we could see the paramedics pumping Hugo's chest through the small ambulance window. My mother screamed like she was being tortured. It was a real-life nightmare, worse than anything I ever dreamed. I shook off the memory, closed our blinds, and headed back to my room. In the hallway, my mother sat up a tiny table beneath an old picture of Hugo. 2 red church candles were burning under the photo. I could see my brother's face dimly in the dark. It was like he was watching me. I miss you, little brother, I whispered to his picture. The last time I whispered to Hugo was on a night last spring. He had a bad dream, and he came to my room and woke me up. Martin, I'm scared, he said, his eyes half closed. Don't worry, I said to him. Ain't nothing in a dream that can hurt you. He yawned and rubbed his eyes. It was as dark and quiet as a night as it ever got in our neighborhood. He fell asleep next to me, and I was awake the whole night because he snored loudly and kicked me a few times. I was annoyed with him then, but now I'll do anything to have that time back. You're gonna have a moment like that too. A time when you wish for things to be back the way they used to be, even if they weren't perfect. In the flickering candlelight, shadows crept up and down the hallway like ghosts. I remember the boy I saw in the office at Bluford just before I passed out. Was he Hugo? It might have just been the hit to my head. Maybe I was losing it. Or maybe he was still with me somehow, watching over me the way I was supposed to watch over him. I'm so sorry I didn't protect you, little brother. At 7 o'clock, my alarm blasted me awake, like it did every other morning. Only this time, I felt like kicking it. I must have slept an hour or 2 at most. The last place I wanted to go was Buford High School. Homework? I couldn't remember what my last assignment was, even though it was just a day ago. When you're trying to survive, schoolwork is the first thing you drop. This nigga said, when you're trying to survive. If you just... Teachers never seem to understand this. On my way to school, I passed the parking lot where Frankie split my head open. Sydney gave me the chills. He didn't split your head open. This boy is too dramatic for me. Split my head open. You got a fucking knot on your head. He popped your ass. He dopped your ass. Anything. But he didn't split your head open. That was blood. He split his head open. Okay, shut the fuck up. Because right now you finna piss me off too. I'll tell. Seeing it gave me the chills, and I got that gawing feeling too. The one that tells you something bad is about to happen. I looked around just to make sure Frankie wasn't following me. I kept picturing him standing in my front door, my bandana in his hand, the same hand that held a gun to my face. He wasn't anywhere in sight, not yet. At Bluford, I climbed the steps, and there was a few students looking at me funny. One kid was staring right at my stitches along my hairline. You got a problem, Holmes? I said. The kid shook his head and walked away. Yeah, that's what I thought. Inside it got worse. It seemed everyone was secretly eyeing me as I walked down the hallway. Yo, that's the dude who got kicked out of his old school for selling drugs, someone whispered. Don't mess with him. He might be packing, someone else in my book. Listening to them, you would think I was one of the terrorists the FBI was hunting. Rumors in school are like that, spreading like a fire no matter how false they are. At my locker, I spotted someone familiar coming down the hallway toward me. Vicky? What was I going to do about her? With Hector and Frankie on the street? There was only one answer, and I hated it. You know what? For somebody that's doing all this fucking looking around, you pushing everybody the fuck away is blowing these shit out of me, homie. Okay? I just want you to know that. You want to die alone? You don't even want to have a witness feel murder? You don't want them to you want your mama to cry? You don't care? Like, what the fuck? Vicky and me met my first day at Buford. I noticed her the second I stepped into Mr. Mitchell's English class. He was in the middle of telling kids not to be late when I walked in with my attitude. My timing was so perfect that a few kids busted out laughing, and I played along. Vicky smiled, and when I saw her, I almost forgot how angry I was that my mom had dragged me across the city to Buford. Excuse me, sir. You have a guest? Stevie Morris said, pointing me out to the teacher so he could get a laugh from his friends. I knew right then I didn't like him. For a second, everyone stared at me like I was from another planet, like they never saw a kid from the borough before. At Zoomro High, almost everyone was brown like me. Buford was the opposite. More black kids than anything else, although there were some Latinos, Asians, and a few white kids mixed in. If you ask me, Vicky's the finest Latino in the school. I ended up sitting behind her and found myself daydreaming about her soft brown skin and the way her black hair spiraled down her back. Even her laugh sounded pretty. Like music, if you can believe that. My boys will never stop teasing me if I told them this. What's up with you, Holmes? You got a soft nail that you sweating at Buford, girl? Cargo would say. It was true. Dude shouldn't talk, though. When his first girlfriend broke up with him, he got drunk and cried. I never told Frankie because he would have made a big joke out of it. He was cruel like that. Mr. Mitchell put me and Vicky in a group to do our homework assignment. We had to write an essay about heroes. Both of us ended up writing about someone in our family. Vicky wrote about her grandmother who died, and I wrote about Hero. I gotta admit, it was the first time schoolwork ever helped me meet a girl. But it's true. When we read each other's papers, something clicked. That Saturday, we spent the whole afternoon together. We walked in the park and grabbed some pizza. It was like one of those corny TV shows, but it was nice. For once, I wasn't the troublemaker who kept getting in fights, the son who almost hit his mother, or the thug about to throw his life away. Instead, I was Martin Luna, the person Vicky liked. I had such a good time, I felt guilty, like I was lying about who I really was, because you was. I was even trying to tell her about it. It was the first time I was so honest with a girl. Vicky, you and me, we're different from each other, I had said, looking for the right words. Really different. So, she said, what's that mean? It just seems like you shouldn't be here with me, I told her. My face burned when I spoke. If she knew me and my homeboys were planning to shoot somebody, she'd never even look at me. I hated being so dishonest. But how could I tell her the truth? She touched my arm then, just for half a second. My heart skipped. Martin, when I first saw you, I was like, oh no, who's this boy acting so hard? But when you wrote about your brother, you seemed so sad. That's when I decided I wanted to talk to you. For an instant, I thought she was feeling sorry for me, and I nearly walked away just like that. I don't want no girl's pity. I ain't no one's charity case. But she stopped me. It's not like that, she said, pushing her head behind her ear so she could focus on me. She rested her hand on her neck for a second. I couldn't take my eyes off her. It's like you're more real than the guys around her. I couldn't tell what was real anymore, but I knew I wanted her to always feel that way about me. And in a way, I understood what she was saying. Compared to the other girls I knew, she was more real too. Deeper. It's not their fault they was driving past, but why the fuck is they moving so loud? Is they going deaf in that fucking car? But who was I kidding? After what happened with Frankie, everything was different. We had to end things. I took a deep breath as Vicky approached my locker. For the first time since we met, I didn't want to see her. Don't get me wrong. It's not that I don't like her. It's the opposite. I like her too much to let her get tangled in my mess. Martin, she says, stop and just behind me. Are you okay? I can't believe you're back in school. I watched as she struggled not to stare at the stitches on my forehead. I was so worried about you. Her words burned my insides, like she was poking deep into my chest with a hot iron. Looking at her dark hair, her soft skin, and her concerned eyes, I knew I had to get her as far from me as possible. Don't think I'm crazy. It's what I learned from Hero's death. If I kept him away from me and Frankie, he wouldn't have been on the street when the bullets were flying. It's a mistake I won't make again. The banana on my door told me everything I needed to know. The only way to keep Vicky safe was to keep her away from me. How is that keeping her safe? Because you still have feelings for her. So if he wanted to use Vicky, if he wanted to use Vicky to get to you, he's still gonna fucking use her even if you dump her. Like, what? Because you still care for her. You're not dumping her because you want to dump her. You're dumping with her because you think that's gonna stop Frankie from using her as bait to beat your ass. But that's not what the fuck that's gonna happen. I'm fine, Vicky. Just a little bump on my head. No big thing. I shifted my books and tried to hide what I was thinking. She stared at me oddly. Her eyes intense and focused like twin spotlights on my face. I wish I could hide myself from her gaze, but there was nowhere to run. You scared me yesterday. All I could think about last night was your face and that cut on your head. She shook as the image in her mind hurt her somehow. Come on, Vicky. You know I'm hard-headed. It takes more than a little cut to keep me down. One of my books slipped out of my hand and slammed down to the locker floor with a loud crash. Vicky jumped at the sound and took a deep breath. I guess so. Overhead, the first bell rang, and people in the hallway started rushing off. We had 2 minutes to get to class. 2 minutes for me to force myself to act this way. What happened yesterday? You have to tell me. Just an argument. They got a little out of hand. We're cool now, though. I said, picking up the textbook and trying to have time. It ain't nothing to worry about. She stepped back. He taking too long to do it. She stepped back and cocked her head like I just insulted her. I pretended to organize some things in my locker. What's wrong with you, Martin? What? You acting different. I'm sorry, Vic, but it's been a crazy time for me. There's just a lot of things I need to sort out right now. You want to talk to me about it? I looked at her. For some reason, I didn't know what to say. Of course, I wanted to talk to her. I wanted to listen to her. And part of me wanted to kiss her right there in the hallway. But the best thing I could do was get her to walk away from me. And the only way to do that was to make her want to leave. Asking her when it worked, she was too stubborn from that. I learned that when Steve Morris and his football players' friends jumped me on the street. Just leave, Vicky, I told her when he and his boys climbed out of his car. Go, I yelled. But she didn't budge until my crew showed up. And she knew I was safe. It was all too close. She could have been punched or stabbed or worse, and it would have been my fault. I couldn't live with myself if that happened. If it meant that I had to lose her to protect her, so be it. We gotta get to class, I said, acting like she meant nothing to me. Her jaw dropped. I don't understand. What happened to you? Did that bump on your head make you forget Saturday? You know, the day we spent together in the park? I remember everything, Vicky. What do you want me to say? I asked bitterly. It's not like it was that special. It was just a walk. That's all. I laughed. I want to cry for him. I want to cry for him. I want to cry for her. I want to cry for the fact that he breaking her heart to keep her safe. I want to cry for the fact that he breaking her heart to keep her safe, and that might not even work. And I want to cry for the fact that he need love and he keeps throwing this shit away. I want to cry. Vicky shook her head at me. I'm so sorry, girl, I want to say. But it's for your own good. Frankie's coming. You got to stay away from me. The second bell rang loudly. We had a minute to get to class. Vicky was never late before, but I could tell she would be today. It was all my fault. But what could I do? You being such a jerk right now. What's your problem? I got more problems than you know, I want to say. But I bit my tongue. The only problem I have right now is you, Vicky. I said and turned away, hating myself. I left her standing in the hallway alone. Damn! How they do it like that? How we gonna act like we? Oh. Is everybody on chapter 4 now? Everybody on chapter 4 now. The Popo even on chapter 4 now. Okay. Okay, so everybody's on chapter 4. Oh my goodness. We done pushed everybody away. What is we gonna do? Hold on. Okay, the popo is gone. The popo is gone. So I need a filler. So we're gonna talk about YouTube and the notifications for YouTube. That's what we're gonna talk about. Okay, and for my example, I'm going to use somebody. I'm going to use the following people post every day. I was about to lie. I was about to say there is not a day that they do not post. One of these posts every day. One of these don't post every day, but sometimes they post every day. Okay, but Steph and Tosh, I am subscribed to Steph and Tosh. Well, I was. Okay, well, on my phone. On my phone, where I'm signed in at, on my YouTube, I am subscribed to Steph and Tosh. And I get notifications for the videos that they post. I should get notifications from when they post because my notifications is on. But what ends up happening is majority of the time I don't get notifications. But I know they post every day, and more than half the time they post about like 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock. So if I'm up at that time, then I instantly go to their channel to see if they post it. But sometimes YouTube calls itself beating me to the punch. But the problem is that most of the motherfucking time, when YouTube calls itself beating me to the motherfucking punch, like, okay, so when I say YouTube calls itself beating me to the punch, meaning that as soon as they post a video at 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock or whenever the fuck they post a video, then YouTube sends me a notification. Only motherfucking problem is that whenever the motherfucking YouTube has ever sent me a notification about anybody I'm subscribed to, it is never the right fucking video. So yesterday, I get a notification that Steph and Tosh posted, right? Wait for it. The notification was from a video from last week, which is so fucking mind-blowing if you think about it. You mean to tell me out of all the motherfucking videos that they got, they post a video every day, and then you went back to a week ago and gave me a notification like, oh, like they ain't been posting at all. So when I see shit like that, I'd be like, all right, Squeeze, what's popping off on your channel is YouTube is not sending out no motherfucking notification to any of the motherfucking people that follow you. Which means, at the end of the day, most of the people that is watching my motherfucking video is not subscribed to my motherfucking channel. Even though that's not a lot of motherfucking people. I got less than 2,000 subscribers. I'm just refusing to go. I'm refusing to go. Me, myself, personally. I'm refusing to go. Now, my other player, Martin Lewis, I love him. I love his ass. He posts every day. And his videos do be long. Well, not every day, but he posts almost every day. He keeps up with the drama. But I don't get notifications for him either. And once again, when I do receive notifications from him, them bad boys be off. Like the last time they sent me a notification from him, according to YouTube, Martin Lewis has not posted a new video in 2 fucking weeks. So according to the YouTube, Steph and Tosh have not posted a new video in a whole fucking week. Like, they're like, oh, I remember. YouTube's like, I remember. You're following this person. Hey, they ain't posted in a while. So we're going to give you a notification for an old video. And I'm like, whoa, but wait, they did post. YouTube, algorithm, you do know they posted all this week. Like, all this week. There were no days in this week that they did not post. So there is no need for you to go back to videos from 2 weeks from these people talking about, oh, I know you're following them. Just a reminder, there's a video from them. Like, stop. So I already know if this is happening with motherfuckers with nice ass followers and the people that I'm talking about, and I know you like tweets. Why are you?
In my mouth.
That's because your nose is bleeding. You gotta get some ice put on it. Go get a piece of ice put on it. It's not bleeding, but it is bleeding. Stop digging in it.
Crust. Blood.
Okay, go wash your hands and go get your piece of ice. And I know you like squeeze. What is the point of pointing out how? But this is my point. I'm not talking about how many followers they have, because that's not the purpose. That's not the point. I myself, I'm a follower of both of them. My whole point is this: these are people that are clearly, because as I like to say, I want to pay attention to people that's doing what they love, and the numbers don't matter. Because if you're doing what you love, then the numbers wouldn't matter, because the numbers will surely go where you need them to be. So that's not the point. The point is to show everybody else that it doesn't matter. Like, none of it makes sense. And I can't make it make sense. And if people with good followers, even good subscribers, because I don't really believe that they subscribers be coming for them and like, oh, I don't know what you doing, I'm not really rocking with you. And so it's not like, and Steph and Tosh do not make bad material. They make good content. Like, they'll keep you laughing, they're entertaining, they eat majority of all the food. Martin Lewis, he's not a drama bug. Most of these drama channels, you hear about the drama.
Two single ices.
Okay, let me eat this one then. Most of the time you hear about the drama, but then when they make a mistake themselves in telling you the drama, they don't come back and correct it. They just be like, hey, I didn't know if it was true or not. I was just telling you what someone else gave me. And Martin Lewis come back and like, hey, I gave y'all some false information. Let me correct it. So if they notifications ain't getting, if they post every day and you ain't getting notified, I know I'm posting that motherfucker day, and I know nobody like me posting that motherfucker day, you won't get notified about that shit.
Where am I supposed to put it?
Put it in your nose.
No, on. Like in. So it won't be that cold.
Okay. But anyway, let me go get him something to put on his nose. This is where the Queen Jones, aka Queen. Don't go over there. Come over here. Sit right here.
Wait, don't sit right there. That was sit right there at first. In the first video. Sit over there.
They can't see me all the way over there.
Yeah.
You go sit over there. See how I care about y'all? How y'all care about how I'm trying to make y'all friends? I'm letting my kid go sit over there by the window because he wasn't listening to the story anyway. Y'all, they don't sit in that chair. Somebody gonna sit here. Somebody gonna sit in that chair. You gonna sit by the window. All right. And it's your girl, Squeeze Jones. We'll be back tomorrow. Before that, I don't know. I won't even tell y'all that. Just cut my head off. And I gotta take my head down and get ready to watch that. So that might be another video. Squeeze your head channel. So the fuck what? It doesn't belong here, but you will get it.
No.